My guest today is someone who has helped shape the landscape of contemporary Australian art with both sensitivity and vision. Tamsin Purves is a key figure at Australian Galleries, one of Australia's most respected and enduring art spaces. Known for its long history of supporting Australian artists across generations, the gallery has built a reputation for thoughtful curation, strong artist relationships, and a commitment to fostering dialogue between art, design, and the broader community. Tamsin's role places her at the intersection of creative practice and industry, where she works closely with artists, designers, collectors, and institutions to bring exhibitions and ideas to life. Her perspective offers a valuable window into how galleries operate, how design influences visual culture, and how creative ecosystems evolve over time. Our conversation explores Tamsin's approach to supporting artists, her insights into the shifting dynamics of Australia's art and design scene, and the ways in which galleries continue to adapt in a rapidly changing cultural landscape. Tamsin, thank you so much for joining me at Her Design, Her Story today. It's great to catch up with you.
Thank you for having me.
I'm really excited to talk to you about what has been an incredible career and the amazing work you do at Australian Galleries. But before I jump into your current role there, I did want to talk to you a little bit about your first career pathway when you finished school, because I know it started in a slightly different direction for you. Can you talk me through what that first study pathway was like for you?
When I left school, I really had no idea what I wanted to do. But I knew I had to do some kind of work. My family's workers, and I thought I can't do nothing. So I had a little bit of start with a couple of jobs and then fell into a really nice role at Peter Rowland Catering at the National Gallery of Victoria. And I loved that. It was fun. I learnt a lot. The people that I worked with, I'm still friends with today. And then that kind of led to something else after, still with food, with a very good friend of mine. And then I kind of did this for a bit of a block, and then I had my family.
Yeah. No,
so
that's
that
exciting.
Was, that was it.
A good pathway into the workplace, though. I think some of the invaluable lessons that you can learn, about people management and getting on with people from different backgrounds and different interests, and you always can learn a lot in those environments as well.
I think it's really important, actually.
Yeah.
One of my younger ones is just doing a bit of working while she works it out. I say you will learn things that you will remember for your whole life.
Yeah.
I think learning about people, managing life skills, just with all money and resilience and kind of being accountable and having to show up and things like that. I think that they are invaluable, absolutely invaluable.
Yeah, that's amazing. So you completed your time at the NGV and then had children. You're currently now working in your family business, Australian Galleries, which has really pioneered Australian art since the 1950s, which is incredible. Can you describe a little bit around that transition from when you started working in the gallery?
I always sort of was doing sort of bits and pieces, mailing out catalogues and invitations when you still posted things, and then obviously handing out the drinks. I mean, I'm talking when I was like 14, so I've always had my little tiny fingers in. But when my children got to, I was working a little bit part time when they were in primary school, But when I got to the stage where they had all could get themselves to and from school and, slight independence, I really felt like it was time for me to go back to work full time. And so I approached Stuart and sort of said, I'd really like this. And I sort of was answered with I won't make a position for you. I'll see what there is. And which is right. It's the right way to go about it. And so it was just lucky that we were evolving and there was a stockroom being opened and the timing was right. So full time from then on.
Yeah, that's amazing. I'm interested to talk a little bit about the history of the gallery, just because obviously there's incredible longevity in the Australian art scene. Started by your grandparents?
Correct.
Is that right?
Yes, Tamsin Purves, 1956, 70 years next year.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so the big anniversary, obviously, it's quite a long time.
Yeah, that's incredible.
Yeah, 70 years.
Yeah, so they were started in Melbourne and then...
They started in Melbourne and then, look, they did that for a while. Then, unfortunately, Tam passed away. Stuart joined in and then it just slowly grew. Like then we went to Sydney. Then we had works on paper galleries, one in Melbourne and one in Sydney. And then there was always a little bit of a shuffle around with buildings and things. And then we now are in a situation where we have Melbourne and Sydney and they both have stock rooms, which are absolutely fantastic because we get to show nearly something of all the artists that we represent, not just exhibitions. Yeah. But the history of the gallery is so important. I mean, we've shown amazing artists, obviously, like, you know, Percival, Tucker, Smart, Olsen, and on and on and on they go. And to now, you know, and all amazing artists. Yeah, it's pretty extraordinary.
Yeah, it's amazing. I guess a bit of an aside question and a personal interest question we were talking about before. I love art and have grown up with a lot of art and that sort of thing in my family as well. How do you find new artists for your gallery? Because there's obviously, you've got this incredible array of talent. Is that something you're always on the lookout for adding to the stable of people that you're representing?
Yes. Look, we are always on the lookout. We get a lot of people obviously approach the gallery, which is lovely, and we have a process that we go through, and some we email to say, come in and have a chat. Unfortunately, others we don't. Yeah. We get quite a lot of artists that we are currently representing. They will recommend to us because they're in it and they see and things like that. So that's quite a very good way. We also definitely on the lookout going to exhibitions. Obviously, we look in social media and see what's going on. We try and keep ahead of what is happening out there. But we do have we're massive in the sense that we have 150 artists that we represent. Yeah. So we're quite full, so we really do take it quite seriously if we do take on someone. We test the waters sometimes, maybe get them to, you know, put some works in the stock room, see if it works for them and us too. I mean, we might, it's a bit of give and take and see what happens.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, that's amazing. Can you describe a little bit about your particular role in the business currently?
Yes. I am the managing director now.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, that happened a couple of years ago. So that was a nice. So because we have galleries in both Melbourne and Sydney, Stuart flies to Sydney every 2 weeks. It's quite a big schedule, and we have revolving exhibitions. So I suppose I actually sort of look after all the staff, clients, just organising day-to-day things. I mean, managing director, I really just manage day-to-day. It sounds glamorous. I just think that it's good for there to be a person all the time in Melbourne with Stuart travelling because, you know, I mean, they're quite big businesses now. So I think you've got to have people that are there to not necessarily to report to, but just to be there. You know,
presence.
Yeah, I think so. Presence, exactly. It's important.
Yeah, we sort of touched on it a little bit before, but obviously the incredible longevity of your family business, adaptability and evolution would be really important. And no doubt in that time, you know, just as someone who loves art and likes to purchase the odd small piece, I can see how much it's changed even in my lifetime. What are some key things, you know, you're talking about keeping ahead of the game? Is a lot of that sort of an awareness of how people are buying art? What's that sort of adaptability in your business that you think's enabled that longevity?
I think so. I think
multifaceted, perhaps.
Yeah, I think that. How long have we got? I mean, I think. Look, there's definitely a change in the water. Essentially, I mean, there used to be not that many galleries. There used to be not that many reputable galleries. So there was a different clientele then. I mean, I think then we're now sort of moving through where people are not buying. How can I say, like very, you know, big necessarily, very expensive paintings for their homes. It's a different world now. I think people interior is a lot to do with it as well. Different clients. Social media has sort of made a bit of a, it makes things different. I mean, we're very lucky. We're very reputable.
Yeah.
We have very good artists. We have very good clients, and we just try and continue to do that.
Yeah. Which I think, touching on that sense of social media, I mean, I like it in the sense that new and interesting things pop up all the time, but I think there is something about that sense of reputation and coming to a gallery that you know and love, and purchasing art in a way that you have a bit more, I guess, surety behind what you're purchasing and knowing what you get.
Yes, I think that is one of the things about Australian galleries, is that it's that reputation that I was talking about. I mean, look, we have the most extraordinary archive department. We document everything, every painting that has been sold, for the 70 years is documented.
Oh, that's amazing.
It is amazing. And I think it doesn't matter to everyone, but I think it does matter to a lot. And I mean, it's incredible. The auction houses use it, obviously, if the paintings do it's quite interesting how important actually for Australian history it is. Yeah, because we can tell you where everything has come from.
And especially probably on reflection, maybe some artists that you might have sold 10 years ago and then they've really hit their stride, and having that opportunity to reflect back on where things have come from.
No, absolutely. No, it is. It is, the documentation is it is a big part of the gallery, a really big part of the gallery.
Yeah. Oh, that's really interesting. In terms of the exhibition side of the business, obviously that's an important way of promoting artists and getting people into the gallery. Is there sort of a methodology to your exhibitions each year? Do you set out to have a certain number, or is it a little bit based on what artists are working on? More as someone who likes looking at art, I was just interested to know how that exhibition side comes together.
Oh, it's pretty tight. Like it's a full. So we have it. It's 2 calendars, obviously, for Melbourne and Sydney. It begins in February and runs through till about December or the end of November. Yeah. So essentially, we might get 9 or 10 exhibitions in both spaces. They run sort of fortnightly ahead. So one will open 2 weeks later Melbourne, 2 weeks later Sydney. And it's quite a big deal. We do sit down with artists and ask them, how they are, what they're thinking about, when they'd be ready for shows. So essentially we could have 3 years of calendars going at the same time, just, putting them in and, tentatively. And then, like about now, we have got sort of the first half of next year firmed up, and then we start to work on the second half, although pretty much that's done. And then sometimes we give like our new artists a go in some of these little spots. And I mean, it's an evolving process, but they're pretty full.
Very considered.
And very considered, yes. And also sometimes we have not just one, but we might have 3, say, and we have to make sure that they work together. Yeah. Like that's quite important. Yeah. So, there's a lot goes into that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, it's interesting.
Yeah, it is interesting.
I also touched on with you a little bit earlier about the art fairs, which I sort of feel, again, from a spectator point of view, are just getting more and more traction in Melbourne and Sydney, which is really exciting, and a lot of local artists really getting a lot of attention, which is great. Is that something that's important to your business, being present at those art fairs?
Absolutely. It's one of those things about, longevity, being part of the art world. I think definitely we have found that the art fairs, we need to be a presence there, and it's great. We've done about, I could probably say 6 maybe now, and we're already on to next year in Sydney and then the following year in Melbourne. Yeah. I mean, and the other thing is it's so many people in such a condensed time. Yeah. I mean, how can you get that into your gallery? So I don't, why would you not be there? I mean, it's amazing the amount of people that go to them.
I feel, and I grew up in New Zealand, and I know a lot of people from New Zealand travel to Australia particularly.
Yeah, right.
I mean, I think there's now sort of a lot more global attention, but yeah, I think it's certainly a way of anchoring,
I think
a target market.
I visited the Hong Kong Art Fair probably about 5 years ago, and I mean, that blew me away. That's like about 6 levels of
oh wow,
yeah, it was amazing and
overwhelming.
Yeah, very overwhelming. But they are incredible.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, that's amazing. Coming back to the structure of your business at the moment, you mentioned yourself and Stuart are part of that business. How big's the team that work with you behind the scenes?
So I think we've got 12 in Melbourne and about 5 in Sydney.
Oh, amazing.
Now, Melbourne is bigger because that is where we do all our admin. It's kind of our head office. Yep. So Sydney's a little bit of a smaller staffed gallery. And so we sort of have obviously Stuart and I, and then we have managers that look after certain spaces. They all have assistants. Then we actually do everything in-house, which which is great. So our accounts is in-house, our media is in-house, our design is in-house, our website is in-house.
That's amazing.
Yeah, everything is in-house. So that's why it's it's a small business. I think 12 is small business. Yeah.
Medium
business, yeah. We're really lucky. We have great staff.
Yeah.
Yeah, really, really, really good staff. And that, that helps. That really helps. I think it's imperative, actually. I think definitely.
Have a lot of the staff that are working with you come through like a curation background? What have a lot of them studied?
Yes,
getting into an art gallery.
Curation is definitely absolutely massive. Some of them have done printmaking, interestingly enough, and just want to continue to do something like that, but also be in the art world. So it's quite a good job because some of our positions are 4 days. Yeah. So it does allow people to have a balance, which I think is important. But a lot have done, I think it's the RMIT course.
Oh, right.
It's a pretty amazing course, I think. Yeah, curatorship, yeah.
Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah.
Oh, that's good. Continuing this idea of development and adaptability, obviously finding inspiration for ourselves as creatives is really important. And no doubt you're probably looking at a lot of art things all the time. Are there any particular ways that you find inspiration personally? Is it from travel? Are there any sort of go-to magazines or anything you like to read?
Oh, look, I think it's everything.
All
I
the
think
above.
I think it's travel. It's those beautiful little shops that you see when you travel, and they're, my God, the visual merchandising is like beyond another level. I always find that interesting. Gardens, I love gardens. I used to look at magazines. Now I look at, Instagram or Pinterest or something. I do too. I know. I agree. I must say that I do collect a lot of books. I still get, lots of home books, garden books, interesting interior books, art books. But I think it's more places, to be honest. Yeah, I think places can be quite inspiring.
Yeah. Does that sort of feedback, I'm just coming back to this idea of the exhibitions and designing those exhibition spaces, is that something you sometimes look to other places for inspiration?
Yeah.
Because I feel like even the way art's being exhibited now is quite different.
It is. Yeah. We have the managers normally do all that, and they're very, very good at it, but I obviously am involved in it, and it's really interesting because you try each time to make something different, how it's going to look, so that people, when they come in, it's not it's that same hang, even if it's just different work. But we do look at what the work is and how we can make it more interesting. Definitely influence from outside. I mean, we had an exhibition, sort of a quirky exhibition, gorgeous Rona Green works the other day, and she, oh my God, it was like all up and down the wall. But it was so appropriate because it's just her thinking and how it was. Yeah. So each one is quite different.
Yeah, no, I find that really interesting actually, that there's so much thought that goes into that, that side of artwork as well. Thinking about work and family, we touched on a little bit earlier. Now your kid's obviously a little bit older. What does that structure of work and life look like for you at the moment? Has that, with kids getting a little bit older, has that sort of enabled a little bit more freedom with work?
Absolutely. Absolutely. I think, you sort of, you have your family. I was working part-time a bit when they were younger, then full-time. Look, it's very hard. I mean, you go through different stages, and but I'm very lucky now that all my children are old enough that I can comfortably work full time. Yeah, yeah, which is quite nice, and find a balance, obviously, to do other things. But definitely, I feel very comfortable working full time they are definitely old enough.
Which is
some
good,
of them,
because
some
I
of
think
them.
there's
Yeah.
often I've found it interesting having all these conversations with amazing array of women. I think everyone's journey is quite different,
Yeah,
and how
quite
to
different.
navigate that. And I think particularly probably in the art world, with that have traditionally been quite a male-dominated industry.
Yeah, absolutely. And yes, and in fact, it's the gallery seems to be kind of female-dominated industry
really?
in our which is great. Yeah, we're bucking the system. I think. Yeah, no, it's good.
But yeah, no, an interesting juggle, I think, for everyone, and finding that space to be creative as well.
Yeah, I think so. I once listened to a talk. I was at a school function. It was Dame Quentin Bryce, and she said, you can have it all. You just can't have it all at once.
Yes.
And I think she was talking about, I think obviously she had a career, family, career, and then obviously, I think then the next stage in her life. And I sort of think it sort of resonated with me in a sense, because it's not the same for anyone. I mean, you do things. Yeah. I think you just got to do it when it works. I mean, for me, for instance, it was sort of family first, now career. Yeah. Really is when I've been able to get a hold of that. I mean, I am fortunate that I can do it at this stage, and then who knows what's next. But it is you've just got to find that balance. It is everyone is different.
Yeah, and I think it can get a bit overwhelming sometimes when you think you see what all these other people are doing. But I think it's always a great thing to come back to, that actually we can all take time.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I think you can. Yeah. I mean, we're quite fortunate these days. I mean, you can have a career, take a break, and then get back into it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was speaking to a friend recently about that aspect of maternity leave, and I think even I found it interesting. My oldest daughter's about to turn 12, and the difference between her and Annabelle, who's 6, and just the change in even what's on offer for my husband from a paternity leave point of view. But he sometimes would say, he's like, I would have loved to have had that opportunity to have sort of a career pause and a reassessment of which direction I want to go in. So I always tried to take it as a little bit of a positive.
Yeah. No, well, I think
maternity leave moment.
Yeah. Yes. Well, I think that's right. I mean, there's an assumption, isn't there, that it's the mother have the maternity and the father just keeps going back to work, and it's quite old-fashioned. Yeah. I mean, it still is a bit around for some, but it is nice to see that these things are definitely evolving. In the change. Yeah, definitely changing. It's great.
Yeah. Looking ahead to next year, you mentioned the Sydney Art Fair. Are there any other interesting things on the agenda for the gallery for next year?
Yes, well, obviously the Sydney Art Fair will do, and the gallery will be 70 years in the middle
amazing.
of 70 years, so we will definitely be celebrating that. Bit of an Australian Gallery's 70th anniversary party.
It's an incredible milestone.
It's a huge milestone. I mean, especially galleries are closing, businesses are closing. I mean, things are still doing well, but it's really nice to still be there.
Yeah, no, it's a wonderful achievement. Yeah. Very exciting. Before we wrap, it's time for her edit. So I've got some quick art-related questions for you.
Okay.
What I'm particularly interested in this one, as someone who's obviously grown up with a lot of art around you, can you remember a first art-related purchase?
I can't remember which one it was, so I have to tell you two. It was a George Balderson beautiful bronze pear.
Oh, amazing.
Or a Fairleigh Kingston tile, which they're amazing
incredible.
as well. I just can't remember which one, but it was one of the two.
And you bought them locally?
I did buy them locally, yes. Yeah.
Yeah. Excellent purchases. Have you still got them?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, I do. Yeah, and they're in where I can see them all the time.
Oh, I think that's great. That's exciting.
It's nice to have those little first ones.
I know, it's funny
special.
Actually. Yeah, I remember my mum bought this beautiful watercolour painting of some hens from a girl who was graduating art school.
I'd probably like that.
Well, she's actually gone on to be quite a prolific artist, and it was always front and centre. Mum's like, that was my first art because she loved it.
No,
yeah, it's really
sweet,
beautiful,
isn't it? I like things like that.
Yeah, and the story attached to it's always good. Any artists at the moment that you're coveting artwork of? It's probably a bit like design. There's always so many.
Oh, it's just about there's so many. I mean, God, if I had the money. Mary Tonkin, I think, is incredible. Absolutely incredible. Nick Dryden, I'm following him. He's great. He's a new artist to us. He's definitely. I love his work. But when you work like that and you see all the new works coming in, I'm like, oh, I love that.
Hard to choose.
Yeah, very much so. Very much so.
Next travel destination, actual or aspirational?
Well, I think that Japan is on our list.
Oh,
so
amazing.
I haven't been, and I know it's a bit the thing of the moment, Japan, but
for good reason.
Yeah, these walks that I hear people talk, that apparently you can do these amazing walks through villages, and that appeals to me. I think that would be quite interesting, and beautiful culture as well.
And the
tradition,
the juxtaposition of architecture there is wild.
Yeah, I think that is
history, contemporary.
I think that's
it's a really
right.
exciting space to be in.
Yep, that's on my list.
Definitely. Favorite creative icon, living or legend?
Well, I'll say Anne Purves. My grandmother, obviously, because I look back now into my childhood, and she lived in this extraordinary Robin Boyd house. It was so of that time. Those we had those white tulip chairs. I can't even remember the name of them, but they were amazing. She just was so glamorous, so strong, an amazing cook, businesswoman. Really
very unique for her era.
Terribly unique for her era, and just extraordinary. And I don't think that I saw a day go by that she just didn't get up, do that amazing job. She's quite extraordinary. You don't sort of know these things when you're young.
Yeah.
It's when you look back and just think that was actually quite remarkable, really remarkable actually. Yeah. I used to think she was a little bit scary.
Oh.
But now I realise she just was strong and just didn't put up with nonsense.
Yeah, which again,
when I was a child,
quite unique from that time as well.
Yeah, so it's quite interesting though. She's pretty amazing.
Did you get to spend quite a bit of time with her?
I did actually. I spent a lot of time with her. Yeah, I was fortunate. Actually, a lot of time, which was nice. Yeah, because my parents divorced when I was quite young, and so when I was with my dad, which were great times, we would quite often be with my gran, obviously with Anne. So that was nice.
Oh, that's amazing.
Yeah, it's quite special.
And was she quite involved in the gallery up until her passing?
Very much so. Oh, yeah, very, very much so. It was definitely the both of them deciding about the gallery. Yeah, and then because she just soldiered on. It was incredible, really.
Yeah, oh, that's amazing.
Yeah, especially in those times.
Yeah, oh, that's wonderful. Can you describe your aesthetic in 3 words, your preferred aesthetic?
Ooh, well, timeless.
Tricky, yep.
Relaxed, but with elegance.
Yeah, that's good. Yep, I like it.
Yeah. Not too serious.
Too serious.
Yeah.
Which probably leads into the final question. If your style was a celebrity, who would it be?
I laugh about this because I follow Sophie Conran. I think she's just very clever. She's an extraordinary businesswoman, but she's got this gorgeous side to her where she doesn't take herself too seriously. She gives me a bit of a giggle, which is always nice. And she comes from an extraordinary design family. So, she's got the basis. But it's just that she lives in this beautiful kind of old English house with this rambling garden, and she does these quite funny little bits that what she does, picks herbs and makes tea, and I don't know, she puts Christmas sort of outfits on and makes cocktails. It's just really,
I like
it's
that.
just
It's
really,
quite quirky.
It's just really, I like that about her. Yeah,
She's not taking
but
herself
she's
too
very
seriously.
clever as well. There is a serious side to it.
Yeah. Oh, that's funny. I like that. It's good.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for your time today, Tamsin. It's been wonderful to speak to you.
No, it's a pleasure. Thank you, Sarah.